My name is Elias Malachi. I never thought I'd share this, but I must. I died, and I met Diogo Jota in heaven. He called my name in the dark. He called my name in the dark. I feel the weight of every breath I draw now, because what I carry is not mine alone. It is a gift and a burden, a truth that shimmers like a blade against my ribs. What he told me changed everything. Even now, I tremble at the memory, afraid to speak it into the frail air of our world. I died, yes, I died. And I stood in light so pure it burned through my every doubt. In that sacred expanse, I saw him first in silhouette, draped in a glow like dawn breaking through storm clouds. Diogo Jota, the warrior of the pitch, now transformed into something more than legend. He turned, eyes bright with a knowing sorrow, and spoke words I am bound by vow to share. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. There is urgency in those words, a summons. A call that echoes still within my bones. I survived only to bear witness, to keep my oath. For if I remain silent, if I falter now, the world will never feel the tremor of what I felt. Listen close. Drink deeply of these whispered truths. I saw beyond the goal lines of glory into the vastness where souls are forged. I felt hearts, my own and his, signed and sealed by love and sorrow, bound to a promise older than time. And I heard the vow soft as a prayer in the hush before creation. This world is dying, he told me, voice gentle as rain on a wounded earth. But hope will rise, if you carry the spark. He called my name in the dark. He called my name in the dark. I return now, flesh enlivened, heart scorched by what I witnessed. I speak not from arrogance but from obedience, for I swore upon heaven's light that I would speak if I lived. I stand here on the brink of disbelief and revelation. I am haunted by what I saw, and driven by love for a world that must awaken. So hear me now, friends, strangers, anyone who will listen. This is a truth the world needs to hear, a vow I'm bound to fulfill. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. The hour is at hand. The flame awaits. This is my confession. This is my sacred vow. I died, and I met Diogo Jota in heaven. And what he told me will shock you. I lived for the roar of the crowd, for the vibration that rose in my chest when the whistle blew and bodies collided in pursuit of a single point. From dawn's first light, I was already tracing the arc of a spinning ball in my mind. Every flicker of Diogo Jota on the pitch electrified me, his sinuous movements, the sudden crack of netting as his foot met leather. He was my hero. Every goal he scored lit up my world with a brilliance I chased like sunlight. Each morning, I'd brew black coffee strong enough to burn away my sleep, settle into worn leather armchairs with my phone in hand, and scroll endlessly through match highlights. I memorized his number, his celebrations, the songs the fans sang when he appeared on the Jumbotron. Weekends were sacrament. I planned them around fixtures, adorned my living room with scarves and banners, and watched as if my very breath depended on the next opportunity to witness him triumph. Yet beneath the euphoria, I felt an emptiness like winter's hush between storms. My apartment, lit only by the glow of screens, carried echoes of my own voice in silent rooms. I went through the motions, emails, errands, brief conversations with baristas who knew me only as the football guy. I laughed at jokes I didn't feel, nodded along to plans I'd already abandoned in my heart. The world moved in color all around me, yet I wandered through it in sepia tones, numb to anything beyond the next match report. That morning, July 5th, as the calendar still reminds me, the air felt heavy, charged with something unspoken. I stepped outside, expecting the usual July glare, but found the sky mottled in bruised purples and grays. A tremor tickled my spine, as though the earth itself held its breath. I paused at the pavement, inhaling a scent of distant rain and something else. Something ancient, like the hush before creation. He called my name in the dark. No stranger's voice, but a memory of that sacred summons, resonating beneath every heartbeat. I carried my coffee to my desk, the steam rising like faint prayer smoke. Even as I opened my browser for the morning's transfer gossip, that trembling undercurrent pulsed through me, an invitation or a warning, I could not tell which. I remember the way my hand shook when I clicked play on the highlight reel. Every pixel seemed to shimmer with promise, yet my eyes blurred with an unbidden ache. The world felt poised on a tipping point, as though the mundane veil between life and something more had thinned, ready to be torn away. Return to the fire. Return to the fire. I had no idea then that those words were already seared into my soul, waiting to be spoken into being. I simply felt the hum of possibility and the quiet dread of what lay beyond. In that moment, I stood at the threshold of two worlds. One where I was tethered by routine and fandom, and another where light and shadow danced with truths too vast to name. I chose the familiar path, unaware that the steps I took would carry me into realms I could never have imagined. Yet even as I lived that ordinary morning, the echo of heaven's summons lingered at my ribs, ready to draw me into a journey beyond all reckoning. He called my name in the dark. Return to the fire. I was driving to the match when the world shattered. One moment, the road lay out before me like a ribbon of promise. The next, a monstrous truck veered across lanes as though pulled by some blind fate. Metal screamed its final aria, glass exploded in 1,000 crystalline rainbows, and pain, oh pain, descended like a black tide, swallowing me whole. My hands clenched the wheel until my knuckles glowed white. My vision snapped to shards of color and sound. He called my name in the dark. Then, as sudden as breath caught in the throat, I was no longer bound by gravity. I floated above the wreckage, a pale eye observing the ruin of my own body below. Blood pooled like spilled ink, steam rising from twisted steel. Yet I felt no heat, no sting, only a distant curiosity, as if I were a moth drifting beyond the candle's flame. The chaos receded into silence, and in that hush, I sensed a presence behind a veil of light. A tunnel glowed ahead, warm and alive, its edges humming with ancient song. It beckoned with a voice I knew without hearing, an invitation older than the stars. He called my name in the dark. I moved toward the glow as if drawn by gravity itself reversed, a slow, effortless drift. The noise of the accident, the pain, the world I had always known, all of it faded into a single point of radiance. In that light, I felt memory dissolve, the cheering crowds, the aroma of turf, the endless screens replaying Diogo Jota's triumphs. All these wonders seemed distilled into one truth. I was leaving this life behind. Fear, a relic of my mortal coil, slipped away. My heartbeat, a drum that had set the tempo of my days, slowed into the hush. I was no longer Elias Malachi the fan, the mortal, the vessel of unspoken sorrow. I was a traveler on the threshold of eternity, and then, in the center of that blaze, I saw him, Diogo Jota, waiting as if on the far side of every prayer. His form was luminous, neither child nor legend but something transcendent, like a promise become flesh. He extended a hand, fingers radiant with that divine fire. He called my name in the dark. In that moment, I understood the vow that drew me here, a covenant of love and loss, of endings that are beginnings. My breath slowed to a whisper, my heart stilled, and fear dissolved into the light. He called my name in the dark. I crossed the threshold in silence. No flash, no grand crescendo, just the quiet exhale of a soul unburdened. And then, stillness. I drifted into the tunnel, carried on currents of light that pulsed like a heartbeat beneath my skin. The passage hummed with a voice I felt more than heard. A song older than stars, older than the sea, a melody I had known before I knelt at my mother's knee. It wrapped around me, each note a finger tracing my spine, guiding me forward. He called my name in the dark. Warmth poured over me, soft as a lover's sigh, and yet vast as the sky. It filled every hollow where doubt had lain, sealing cracks I did not even know existed. My bones, once brittle with fear, now resonated with stillness, an unspoken promise. Here, fear could not follow. Figures drifted past, silhouettes woven from the fabric of memory and dream. Some bore faces carved by centuries, eyes deep as galaxies, smiles like sunrise over forgotten horizons. Others glimmered in forms I recognized, a childhood friend I lost to fever, A teacher whose words once lit my mind, a soldier I'd never met yet felt kinship with in the hush between heartbeats. Each one moved in silence, their steps echoing a peace I had chased in fleeting moments on earth but never grasped. Return to the flame. Return to the flame. As I passed them, I sensed their stories entwined with mine, threads in a tapestry too grand for any single soul to hold. We were all bound by the same breath, the same longing for home. And in that longing, I understood why I had been summoned here, not simply to witness, but to bear this truth back to the world of shadows and light. The air was opaline, shimmering with a color I cannot name. Each exhale bloomed into motes of luminescence that danced like fireflies before they vanished into eternity. The ground beneath me, if it could be called ground, was a living mosaic of root and petal, soft as moss yet firm enough to stand upon. I knelt, running my fingers through its living tapestry, and felt the heartbeat of creation pulse beneath my touch. He called my name in the dark. I rose, guided by a warmth that sank deep into my core, a steady embrace that whispered, "You are seen, you are cherished." For the first time, I did not feel like an intruder in this realm but a child coming home. Above me, pillars of light arched into infinity, rippling like silk in a breeze I could not feel but that touched me nonetheless. The hush was profound, as if the universe itself paused in reverence. In that silence, I heard a choir of unseen voices, gentle as morning wind through reeds, singing in a language of pure love. Sing the song. Sing the song. I tried to hold the melody on my tongue, but it dissolved into tears that I did not mind shedding. Each drop was a prayer, each breath a vow. If I returned, I would carry this music in my heart. I would let it ignite the shadows in every soul I met, so that no one would wander believing they walk alone. Figures gathered around me now, radiating a compassion that felt like daylight through broken glass. Each shard refracting light into 10,000 promises. They did not speak. No words were needed. Their presence was the language of grace made manifest. And then I saw him, Diogo, standing apart yet part of this great congregation. His luminous form held an intensity that both soothed and stirred my soul. He lifted his hand, and in that gesture I felt an outpouring of encouragement and lament all at once. He was messenger, guardian, and brother to every wounded heart. He called my name in the dark. In his eyes I saw the weight of every victory and every loss, transmuted into a single flame of purpose. He did not beckon me closer. Instead, he stepped back, bowing his head in solemn charge. The task was mine now, to descend once more, to ignite the spark in a world grown cold. I wanted to linger in that cathedral of light, to drown in its mercy and never return. But the warmth around my heart flared into a beacon, and I understood. Love without action is a star unlit. I was chosen to become a torch, to carry heaven's fire through streets of doubt, to remind every wandering soul that they too belong to this tapestry. Return to the flame. Sing the song. He called my name in the dark. The hush deepened as I stepped toward the tunnel's end, each footfall a drumbeat of purpose. The light there didn't fade, it pulsed, urging me to take the final step. As I crossed the threshold, a single truth echoed through my bones. I will speak this vow. I will carry this flame. I will return. And thus began the journey back to tell the world what I have seen. I step into a chamber of light, and there he stands. Not the Diogo Jota I cheered in packed stadiums, but a being forged in radiance. He glows with an inner flame, each breath illuminating the air like dawn breaking through stained glass. His silhouette shifts with color, as though his form contains every hue of love and longing ever known. He called my name in the dark. His eyes meet mine, twin beacons that pierce through every hidden corner of my soul. I feel them mapping my joys and failings, the secret corners where doubt and hope have tangled for years. In that gaze I am laid bare, past, present, and all the moments I never dared speak. Then his lips part, and the first words fall like a benediction. Welcome. You were brought here for a reason. My heart trembles, a fragile bird beneath a stormy sky. I can barely hold my breath as he lifts a hand, the motion slow, reverent. In that gesture I sensed both command and compassion. A divine authority tempered by infinite mercy. Keep speaking the truth. Keep speaking the truth. His voice is a low vibration, a hymn that echoes in every cell of my being. I feel it resonate from the marrow of my bones to the edges of my consciousness, and in that resonance, my vow takes flesh. I will not be silent. He steps closer, and I catch the flicker of memories in his presence. Crowds roaring as he struck the ball, the silent prayers I offered in front of screens, the longing in my veins for something more. All of it, he carries within him now, transmuted into this sacred moment. There is work for you, he says, voice soft yet urgent. The world has grown deaf to its own heartbeat. You must remind them to listen. A tremor runs through me. To speak such words feels beyond my mortal capacity, and yet the fire in his gaze ignites a fierce courage. I bow my head, obedience blooming like flame in my chest. He called my name in the dark. There is no judgment in his presence, only a love that feels eternal, a love unbroken by time, unshaken by doubt. In his steadiness, I find the reassurance I have always sought in fleeting triumphs, that I am chosen, that I am held. He raises both hands now, palms open as if offering the sky itself. From them pour threads of light that weave into my heart, binding me to something vast beyond imagining. I feel the promise, to carry this light into every shadowed corner of the world. Remember, he intones, the spark of heaven lives in every soul. I feel tears course down my cheeks, tears of awe, sorrow, and the sweet ache of purpose. Each droplet carries a vow. I will speak of mercy where there is despair. I will sing of hope where there is only silence. Keep speaking the truth. He called my name in the dark. He watches me still, an embodiment of grace and power. Then, as if in a blink, he begins to recede into the luminescence, from figure to glow, from glow to whisper of light. Before he fully fades, his final words echo in the chamber. Go, carry this flame. And then the light enfolds me, and I know the encounter has altered me forever. The hush that follows is no emptiness, but a vibrant expectancy, an invitation to return, to live, to speak from this new heart. He called my name in the dark. Keep speaking the truth. With that sacred refrain ringing in my soul, I turn toward the path that will lead me back to the world of breath and bone, bearing the fire of heaven in a vessel of flesh. My vow stands unbroken. I will not remain silent. I stand on the threshold of the worlds now, carrying a message heavy as thunder and bright as dawn. He spoke of the game we all play, not the clash of boots and nets, but the contest of souls. Beneath every pursuit of triumph lies a silent arena where hearts contend for eternity. He called my name in the dark. He showed me the stadiums of human longing, rows of faces lit by screens, eyes fixed on fleeting glory. The world chases fleeting victories, he said, voice resonant as a cathedral bell. Goals, fame, wealth, but loses the eternal prize. In that moment, I saw the empty jubilation of those who cheered without knowing why, the hollow cheers of hollow hearts. Awaken the heart. Awaken the heart. He whispered truths that felt like seeds planted in the furrows of my soul. They've forgotten who they are, blinded by distraction. Their fields lie fallow, their fires dampened by comfort and fear. I sensed entire generations tethered to the ephemeral, adrift in currents of noise and neglecting the still small voice within. He called my name in the dark. Then came the weight of prophecy, a mantle settling on my shoulders. A great awakening is near, when hearts will turn to what lasts. His words hovered like swans on silver waters, graceful yet undeniable in gravity. I felt their tremor in every fiber. This is not mere hope, but an imminent revolution of souls. Awaken the heart. He pronounced a sacred decree. They were chosen to lead this change. And at that juncture, I understood the double edge of blessing and burden. To be chosen is to be tasked. To receive vision is to carry its cost. I felt the pressure of countless destinies resting upon mine, as though each life I would touch waited for my voice to spark their awakening. He called my name in the dark. Tears welled without shame, for sorrow and joy merged into one flame within me. Sorrow for the lost, joy for the promise of return. I tasted the salt of compassion and found it sweeter than any victory I had ever known. He spoke of fields beyond reckoning, souls sown in judgment and mercy alike, waiting for harvest. Tend them with truth, he urged. Speak to their hunger. Guide them to the living water. His vision unfurled like a tapestry woven with threads of purpose. Every whispered prayer, every selfless act, every heartbeat of love would shape the coming dawn. Awaken the heart. I felt the pulse of creation vibrate through my veins, a sacred resonance calling me to labor beyond the stadiums of earth. The game, he said, has always been more than sport. It is the arc of redemption. I saw the goalposts of eternity, mercy and justice, and knew that every life reclaimed, every soul restored, was another goal scored for the kingdom. He called my name in the dark. In that revelation, I made a vow more binding than any contract forged by hand. I will proclaim this truth without hesitation. I will cast light into the arenas of distraction. I will break the shackles of indifference, and I will fan the embers of hope until they blaze in every heart. Awaken the heart. He called my name in the dark. And so I prepared to descend once more, carrying this prophetic flame into the shadows. For the world awaits its awakening, and I stand ready to speak, to testify, to kindle the fires of transformation wherever darkness holds sway. I return to the realm of breath and bone, yet the vision lingers like dawn's first glow upon my eyelids. He showed me stadiums alive not merely with cheering masses, but with souls awakened, each face uplifted, each heart seeking more than triumph on the field. In that dreamscape, the roar was not empty jubilation, but a unified hymn, a single voice calling heaven down to earth. He called my name in the dark. Across continents, I saw crowds rise as one. Men and women who had come for sport now drawn by an unseen current of longing. Their chants wove together into a tapestry of hope, each syllable a promise that they would no longer chase the fleeting, but pursue the eternal. I sensed the pitch transform beneath their feet, turf turning to living emerald, aglow with the heartbeat of a new creation. Behold, he breathed into my mind. The awakening has begun. In that whisper, I felt the weight of prophecy shift from my shoulders into something I could carry with both hands, tangible, urgent. He spoke of nations uniting, not by flags or anthems, but by shared faith and love's unbreakable bond. They will stand as one, he foretold. Their divisions melted like ice beneath the sun of compassion. I saw walls crumble and rivers of mercy flow where once only suspicion lay. Rise with the dawn. Rise with the dawn. I beheld a new earth unfolding. Marketplaces that once buzzed with profit now hummed with generosity. Boardrooms that echoed with strategy now resonated with purpose. In classrooms, children learned not only math and science, but the geometry of kindness and the physics of grace. Even the barren corners of the world, where sorrow had reigned unchallenged, glowed with the first shoots of hope. He called my name in the dark. He showed me hearts unchained, beating in unison with Christ's own compassion. I felt the vibration in my veins, an electric promise that every gesture of love, every act of mercy, would ripple outward to reshape history. I saw leaders kneel in solidarity with the oppressed, strangers embrace as siblings, and every hand lifted in service become a torch passed from soul to soul. They were chosen to lead this change, he reminded me, and I felt a fire ignite within my chest, a conflagration of purpose that banished every whisper of doubt. It was not arrogance that swelled in me, but obedience, a fierce commitment to the vow I had spoken beneath heaven's light. Rise with the dawn. I saw the first sparks of movement in cities asleep with apathy, a teacher staying late to comfort a frightened child, a doctor traveling miles to bring healing where none remained, an athlete laying down fame to lift the broken. Each act a note in the grand symphony of awakening, each life reclaimed from the shadows. The prophecy unfolded further. They will lead the world into rebirth, he promised, and in that moment I knew that the dawn I had glimpsed was not distant. It pressed against my ribs, urgent and near. It was a promise tattooed on the horizon of every tomorrow, waiting for the hymn of human hearts to pull it into being. He called my name in the dark. Rise with the dawn. And so I stand before you now, flesh enlivened by divine fire, carrying a vision too vast to be contained in silence. I beckon you to join this awakening. Not as spectators, but as champions of mercy and truth. Let the stadiums of your lives become altars of compassion. Let every heartbeat echo the song of heaven. For the game we play is not one of scoreboards and trophies, but of souls redeemed and hearts reborn. The dawn has come, will you rise with it? I slammed back into my body, gasping, alive, in a sterile hospital bed. The scent of antiseptic stung my nostrils like a cold rebuke. Monitors ticked around me in mechanical rhythm, each beep a reminder of the frail vessel I'd thought abandoned. My fingers trembled as I closed them over my chest, where the echo of that celestial hymn still pulsed beneath my ribs. He called my name in the dark. I spoke of what I'd seen. Of tunnels of light, of stadiums filled with awakened souls, of the radiant form of Diogo Jota waiting in eternity's embrace. But my words fell on ears sharpened by skepticism. Friends scoffed, their laughter a brittle thing that snapped like a broken twig. Family turned away, their eyes shuttered in disbelief, unwilling to step into the glow I carried. They don't want this truth to spread. In the bright corridor outside my room, shadows lurked at the edges of vision. My phone flickered with missed calls, messages begging for the normalcy I no longer possessed. Doubts clawed at me in the small hours. Was I lost to madness? Had the world I'd known cracked open and left me stranded in some dream of my own making? He called my name in the dark. Each night, I felt the weight settle on my shoulders, the burden of a truth too sacred to keep hidden, yet too extraordinary to be believed. The walls seemed to lean in, threatening to crush the flame still burning in my chest. In the hush before dawn, I heard whispers, voices of resistance murmuring in the static of my mind. They don't want this truth to spread. But in that suffocating doubt, a spark remained. A remembrance of warmth wrapped around my soul in the heavenly hush. I recalled the touch of light on my face, the unified heartbeat of those awakening stadiums, the promise that mercy would rise where despair had reigned. I clenched my fists around that promise, willing the flame to flare once more. For even if the world recoiled, even if every door slammed shut, the vow I made beneath that sacred glow would not be broken. He called my name in the dark. And so I prepared to stand again, voice trembling but resolute, knowing that the fiercest battles are waged not on fields of grass, but within hearts held captive by fear. I will not let the shadows choke this light. I will speak, even if I stand alone. They don't want this truth to spread. My body may be tethered to hospital sheets, but my spirit strides upon the turf of eternity, carrying the fire of heaven into a world crying out for its warmth. I speak to you now from the edge of eternity, where light and shadow collide in the crucible of every heart. There is a war for your soul, right now, as you hear this. Invisible legions march upon your thoughts, vying for dominion over your dreams, your decisions, your very breath. He called my name in the dark. Most sleep through it, lulled by the lullabies of comfort and distraction, blind to the storm that gathers at the horizon of their lives. They chase prizes of dust and echo, never sensing the weight of eternity pressing on their spirit. But you were chosen to hear this. In the hush before your next breath, the spark of heaven flickered within you, drawing you into this sacred moment. You carry the ember of awakening, let it blaze. Rise with the dawn. I warn you with love heavier than any sorrow I have known, turn your eyes from hollow triumphs. Lay down the trophies of fleeting fame and wealth, and lift your gaze to the fields that lie beyond the veil of sight. There souls tremble in the darkness, craving the fire you alone can bring. He called my name in the dark. There is hope. Even now, armies of light gather in quiet corners, hands lifted in mercy, voices raised in whispers of truth. They are the unsung heroes of compassion, the silent warriors of grace. You were born to join their ranks, to stand shoulder to shoulder in the battle that transcends borders and languages. This moment, this breath you take, is your second chance. Just as those who return from death carry stories of wonder and warning, so too are you entrusted with the sacred task of revival. Like the souls whose testimonies ring through the halls of second-chance survivors, your story can spark a revolution of hope. Return to the fire. I beseech you. Subscribe to this channel, not for my sake but for the sake of every heart that beats in shadow. Share this truth as if your words were lanterns carried into unlit streets. Spread it wide, across nations, across generations, until the chorus of awakened souls drowns out the silence of despair. For the time is now. The fields are ripe. The cry of eternity resounds in the chamber of your soul. Choose this day to stand as a beacon of light. Choose to live awakened, to speak boldly, to love without limit. He called my name in the dark. Rise with the dawn. Return to the fire. This is your second chance. This is our sacred vow. Let us begin. I lean close to the edge of silence, whispering into the quiet corners of your heart. This isn't just my story, it's yours. He called my name in the dark. Every beat that flickers in your chest is the echo of that sacred summons, the same note that pulled me through light and shadow. When the veil lifts, and it will, there is no turning back. You will stand at a crossroads girded in revelation, your spirit trembling with possibility and dread. Return to the flame. So I ask you now, in the hush before your next breath, will you rise to the call, or remain lost in the shadows of your own making? Will you chase hollow trophies, or will you seize the eternal prize that waits in the fields of mercy? The world will offer you comfort and acclaim, but they are but phantoms leading you away from your true inheritance. True life demands a cost, everything you have, and yet it gives back more than you can imagine. He called my name in the dark. Return to the Gospels, to the cradle of truth that first bore the light into our broken world. Return to Christ, whose scars echo the sacrifice that bridged heaven and earth. Cast aside the fleeting brilliance of gold and glory, for the gain is eternal and the song unending. Breathe the light. Breathe the light. Listen, even now the wind of awakening stirs across silent fields, carrying the fragrance of hope to every corner of despair. It beckons, the same wind that once blew through Jordan's waters, opening the way for all who dare to step into its current. This is your second chance. This is our final vow. The time is now. He called my name in the dark. Return to the flame. Breathe the light. Choose.